So, in the anime Fatima Inverted, there's a world where seemingly gravity is broken due to some very scientific disaster because Japan. Parts of the world and people had their gravity switched to the other direction. The anime tells the story of how Fatima discovers the world of inverted people. Disclaimer: while we won't pick apart the physics of how this came about, there are several consistency errors demonstrated in this anime that just don't work out with classical physics, even with assuming that gravity actually was inverted, because Japan. Another disclaimer: Tony wrote this script and I never watched this movie, so this is gonna be interesting. Part 1: Acceleration due to gravity or Newton's second law. Okay, throughout the movie, there is a recurring theme of balance between the two worlds. Fatima and Age Age, I don't know, Japan, cling on to each other at the start of the film, and Porta Potty and Age team up to infiltrate later on. There's definitely a problem with this, however, as even a slight force imbalance should elicit some sort of acceleration from Newton's second law, F equals ma, which is clearly not seen throughout the movie. This physics discrepancy is most noticeable when Age and Fatima come down in the floating vehicle from the sky, which should really look like this. Through classical physics, we will see that instead of landing at a relatively small speed, they should have went. Now here is what should have happened. Using very, very lenient estimations that Dylan Tran got somehow, the balloon will have a mass of 1,000 kilograms and a coefficient of drag of 0.4. We will also ignore the mass of the passenger because it's negligible compared to the balloon. So from F equals ma, we get that the mass of the balloon times gravity minus kv squared equals 0, where k is the coefficient of drag. Solving for terminal velocity, v equals the square root of the mass of the balloon times gravity all over k, and plugging in numbers we get about 160 meters per second or 357 miles per hour. Well, this is just the max speed the balloon can achieve, but what will happen to them when they land? Since they don't have any way to decrease their velocity, they will approach the ground at terminal velocity, using the equation change in momentum equals force times time, and assuming that the collision occurs in 1 second, they experience about 160,000 newtons of force. So I guess you could say that, at least they stay together forever. Hey, if you like that song, please consider supporting the official release of our album, coming eventually.